Good evening. You're still watching Citizen TV, and this is the special coverage of the World Children's Day. We have a town hall conversation with children as well as those in leadership. We have Governor of Homa Bay, that is Gladys Wanga. We have the representative of UNICEF in Kenya, that is Shaheen Nilofer. We're still expecting the peers of Social Protection and Senior Citizen Affairs, that is Joseph Mutari, and we're joined from Madagascar by the country director of Save the Children, Jib Rabil Tosapon. Lulu?
Naam, karibu mtazamaji, tunasherehekea siku ya watoto ulimwenguni, na ndani ya studio kama tulivyokuarifu hapo awali ni kwamba tuko na watoto ndani ya studio, watoto waliojua na maswali mengi ambao wangependa kidogo yaweze kutatuliwa siku hii ambapo tunasherehekea siku yao. Na kwa sasa tutaweza kuzungumza naye Rahma Said on behalf of Ryan, atueleze kuhusiana na masuala ya access to quality education and inclusivity, sana katika masuala ya PWD.
So, my name is Rahma Said Wandera. I live with a grandfather who has disability. And my question is, how can you ensure children with disabilities are supported?
Okay. Take that question?
I can.
She's asking, how do you ensure that children with disability are taken care of or are supported?
Yeah, so I think that's a very important question. First of all, we must recognize that we are including them. When we do our classrooms, for example, and infrastructure, we must ensure that they are accessible. We must ensure that our children living with disability have aids, whether it's walking canes or wheelchairs, or, we must ensure that their parents are also supported. We must ensure that their vulnerabilities are taken care of, because they are also very prone to being abused. And so on. So those we must make sure. And what I'd like to say also, Sam, is during the Children's Devolution Conference, I think the children elected a president, and the president was a president living with disability, and he actually came all the way to Devolution Conference in Eldoret, and is the one who presented on behalf of the children as a sign of inclusion. And then registration of PWDs is another big problem. It's been mostly at the national level. So a lot of children in the rural areas have been left out. So another big achievement is registration is now happening within the counties, and that is also a major step forward in just ensuring that there's recognition and support, and also just putting aside resources like counties are doing to support people living with disabilities in enterprise, in business, and so that these families are supported.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Brahma, are you satisfied? Ryan, would you like to ask something?
My mom live with disability. My question is, what can we ensure children with disability are supposed?
Okay, I think Ryan, Governor has responded to that question. Brenda, you have a question yourself? Okay, right. Let's get the microphone for you. Please hand me the mic.
Ryan.
Yeah, so that she can also have an opportunity to ask the question.
Okay, my question is about children.
Sorry. I think it's someone switched it off. Could it be you? Go right ahead.
My question is about violation against children. Okay, this is my question. With the increase of internet access for children, how is the government working with the right agents, partners, schools, and parents to look into the emerging threat or to promote online child safety?
All right, she's asking about online child safety. Unfortunately, the PS is not here. He would have helped us respond to that question. I just don't know if UNICEF representative have something to say about that?
Yeah, I think that's a very, very valid question that you've raised about, because this is one of the emerging challenges. There's one side to the issue about the digital divide. There's still a large part of the rural children, learners, who do not have access to internet. But then we also find a large majority of the children in the urban population have very easy access to the internet and to the world thereafter. Technology alone itself will not be able to be a solution for all problems, but it's a significant, important intervention as an opportunity, but it also comes with a lot of risk, as you mentioned. So technological disruption is very, very key to ensuring that the children do have a safe space. The government, the family, the caregiver, and the teachers must ensure that there is a clear regulating environment there. You regulate what the children are watching, which sites are they visiting, but it's also important to ensure that regulation is one thing, but also ensuring that the programs are child-centric. You know, you're not watching the adult programs, and you're not watching the sites which are not supposed to be watched by the children, for example. And so therefore, as much as the technology is clear, the online safety, as you very rightly mentioned, is key to that access to this opportunity, because that opportunity, it provides you an umpteen exposure to the world thereafter. You gain knowledge, you gain wisdom, you gain a lot of things that really helps you to step up where you're currently there. But if you are not under adult supervision, that could be a problematic. So the Kenya government is currently working with civil society organizations and many organizations who are into the online safety, including ICTA, on those regulations to ensure that the children have adult supervision, but they're also clamped down on sites are not accessible to the children, which is equally very, very important. We've seen increasingly, we've read reports, there are studies which shows that this is one of the key emerging risks for children, apart from the risks that we've all mentioned about climate change and environment crisis and floods and drought. You know, online safety is equally very, very important issue.
Speaking of climate change, I think we have Andrew. Andrew, swali lako. Andrew.
Good evening, everyone. I am Andrew Mwangi, and I'm very pleased to be here. And to all the children out there, happy World Children's Day.
Wow.
On to my question. Question is, children are most affected when it comes to the harsh effects of climate change. What kind of help is available for children who lose their homes because of floods and droughts? Yes.
Yeah, I think
Jib can respond to that.
Yep.
Okay.
Jib, did you hear the question? Jib, if you can hear me, Andrew is asking about, you had the question?
If you can repeat it for me, that'll be really great. Thank you.
Andrew?
Yeah, he's asking the question about, with all the challenges with climate change, how do you assist children so that they, even if they lose their livelihoods and their homes, at least they're still well taken care of?
Thank you so much, Andrew, and thank you for the question. I think as we talk about the climate crisis before, this has been one of the main root causes, the violation of children's rights around the world, including in Kenya. I think all of us, including civil society organizations like Save the Children, have roles to play to mitigate those risks. We're looking at the policy level, where we're trying to make sure that all the different policies are incorporating the climate resilience with the children's voice and children's rights in mind. At the implementation level on the ground with communities, we have been also implementing in partnership with the national and county governments, as well as the other UN agencies and NGO partners, including UNICEF, to make sure that children and households and communities are affected by flood and drought are being supported depending on the impacts that are being done or affected by them. Either it's going to be children being displaced and not being able to go to school. There will be education and emergency program that we've been trying to provide and support. Either the households have been flooded and the communities or family do not have the adequate shelter due to the floods, or the crops or the farming that have been affected by drought. There are different interventions that INGO alone cannot do, but we work in partnership with local NGOs, with UN agency, invaluable partners like UNICEF, and most importantly with the county and national governments, to ensure that all of these impacts and all of these effects are being addressed not only in the community level, but across all levels. Because we could support the communities and children in communities where they are being impacted by climate crisis. However, if we're not addressing at the policy level, if we are not incorporating the climate resilient education, climate resilience agricultures and food security, and ensuring that the children's rights and children's voices are being reflected in different policies and being rolled out and implemented effectively, including the public investment in children, we won't be able to actually address all the root causes and may only be able to cover and respond to the symptoms and impacts when it's actually occur. As an organization, we also have one of the flagship programs focusing on children and climate, knowing that climate change is the root cause, one of the root causes to so many violations of children's rights. Thank you.
All right, Jib, thank you for that. And of course, we'll continue the conversation, especially on the areas affecting education. We know that there will be transition from the JSS, Junior Secondary School, is transitioning now to grade 9, and there are a few issues that are going on there, Lulu.
Na kwa hivi sasa mtazamaji, tunapumzika kidogo kuambia tu ndani ya studio pia tuko na wazazi na walimu. Kwa hivyo tutaweza kuuliza maswali mawili matatu kuhusiana na siku ya leo ambapo ulimwengu mzima unasherehekea mtoto ulimwenguni. Usiende mbali.